Is it arrogant to say that there is only one way to God? This is an especially important question at Christmas because Christians all over the world are celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. The Gospel of John speaks about it in this way. No one has ever seen God, but the one and only Son, who is himself God and is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known. At Christmas, Christians celebrate the once-for-all, decisive revelation of God to humankind in Jesus. But is it arrogant to believe that Jesus is the only way to God? In this video, I'm going to explain why I don't think it's arrogant to believe this, and that believing anything to be true necessarily involves saying respectfully that some views are also wrong. Let's get into it. Maybe you've heard the elephant illustration about different religions. It says that the different religions of the world are like different blind people touching an elephant. So one person touches the trunk and says it's a snake. Another person touches the tusk and says it's a rhino. Another person touches the leg and says it's a hippo. The claim is that there are many ways to God and that each religion has a grasp on something real about God, but that it's arrogant to say, only my religion is true. Often I find in discussions with thoughtful people, this issue about Jesus being the only way can be a real struggle. You might think, well, what about my Muslim friends, or what about my Jewish or Hindu friends and family? I think that is such a huge and important question. The problem is that believing anything to be true involves saying that some people are at least to some degree mistaken. To come back to the elephant image for a moment, the elephant image says that it's arrogant for me to believe that Jesus is the only way to God, but then the elephant image also is making an exclusive claim. It's claiming that it can see the whole elephant. It's claiming that sincere Christians and Muslims and Jews are mistaken when they believe that their religion is the true one. Ultimately, believing anything to be true, including that all religions lead to God, inevitably involves saying that some people might be, to some degree, wrong. So while it might sound respectful to say that all religions lead to God, it's actually just as doctrinaire, just as exclusive as any of the alternatives. We can't escape that as human beings. To believe anything is true inevitably involves saying that some people could be wrong. A far better approach, in my opinion, is to fight for freedom of speech and freedom of religion for all, and to engage in constructive dialogue, but still respecting the genuine differences between the different religions. I actually think this is a far more open and respectful way to engage, because it enables the genuine differences between the religions to stand without collapsing them into one homogeneous blob. I also want to suggest that Christianity offers something utterly unique and beautiful when compared to other worldviews and religious systems. Religion says, in essence, that you believe some things, you try to be a good person to obey, and then God might or might not accept you. Christianity says you're already loved and accepted in Jesus Christ, and therefore you can freely choose to obey. And so, do you see the difference there? One says you jump through various religious hoops and then you might be accepted. Christianity says Jesus jumped through all the hoops on your behalf. Jesus went to the cross and died for you. Therefore, you can freely obey, not out of fear, not out of false religious guilt, but out of love and freedom and gratitude to the God who did all of this for you. This freely offered salvation is the most liberating and exciting and distinctive thing I think that Christianity holds out to the world this Christmas. So this Christmas, don't be afraid to consider the possibility that Jesus was who he claimed to be, and that it is no more arrogant to believe this than it is to believe that anything's true ultimately. This is Skeptic Space. I'm Matthew White. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a very, very happy Christmas.